Hello, welcome once again. This is Mike at Night. We are usually here on a Thursday evening. We are happy to have you with us, and we hope that this time that you spend with us is always a valuable period of time that you spend with us every single week. Every Thursday we are here. Trust me on that. We look forward to seeing you, and we are hoping that you are going to have a wonderful experience here today. All right. So let's ask you to share the live, get people to come on and join us here, because we want to start giving you the 5 types of relationships, 5 types of marriages, 5 types of couples. I may even give you more than 5. Just because you are nice people, I may give you more than 5. Let me see who's online. Who do we have online here now? Am I getting the people online? So I ask you to share the live, call a friend, press like or press share and put it on your page so that we could be able to have other people to join us. So while you join us, I hope you had a wonderful week and everything have been going good for you. And you are going to continue to have a wonderful experience in the weeks to come. Let me see who's online. Who's online? Okay, I see our numbers are climbing there. The people are now logging in. We usually have some latecomers, and we wait for those latecomers to come on board. All right. So when you are talking, we would want you to look at some of the relationships that you have been in and locate those relationships in the things that we are going to raise. We're going to give you at least 5. We're going to give you more than 5. But we'll give you at least 5. All right? Rock and come in, people. Rock and come in. We're looking out for you all. Yes, sir. Charmin boys, nice having you. Thank you very much for joining us. Happy to have you at this time. Yep. It is always a pleasure having you with us here. All right, who else is going to be on board? Yes, regulars, we're looking for the regulars that we usually on. If you are on for the first time, just give us a hi. And even if you're on regularly, just acknowledge and just say something so that we could know you're on. Send up some hearts. Let's know that you're with us here this evening. Yeah. Let me just make sure that this camera is properly set and not gonna be shifting on me. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So who's on? Edward Jones on nicely. Hillary Richard. Hillary, nice having you. Grenada. Good evening to you. Rock and come in. Yes, yes. Rock and come in. Yeah, I see those hearts. Thank you all very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so we're 5 minutes after the hour. So let's get going. Let's talk about the 5 relationships. You would have been in a relationship at some point in time. Most of us would have been in relationships. And so I'm dealing with an article from a psychologist where the psychologist explains 5 types of marriages. And it is done by the contributor Mark Travers. Mark Travers. Annabella, you said I had a technology glitch. Oh, I didn't realize that. Sorry. I hope that it is corrected now. Let me know if it is corrected. So Mark Travers says that there are 5 types of marriages or couples that you're going to have. So just remember that any relationship is going to have its ups and downs. It's going to have its ebbs and its flows, what some people call rupture and repair. There are going to be things that would rupture the relationship, and there are going to be things that would repair it. There's no such thing as a perfect marriage at all. You're never going to find that. So even though we say it is difficult for us to accept our marriages and our relationships are not perfect, because with the ones that we are grappling with, the problems that we are grappling with, we usually say, this is not a problem that I am prepared to deal with. And when I ask people, give me a problem, you accept that there is no relationship is perfect. The ones you have, you're not prepared to live with it. Give me a problem that you are prepared to live with. And they can't find one. Many times they cannot say, if this is the problem of my partner, I'm prepared to live with that. Because most times somebody else has that problem and they can't live with it. You have yours and you can't live with it. Are you prepared to exchange problems? Okay. Good evening, Stephen Melville. Good to have you. God blessing to you also. Appreciate having you. Wendy Norton, Josiane. I see my Trinidad people and I see my St. Lucia people, my Grenada people. Good evening. Yes, rock and come in. Yeah, we said so already. And you're running late, Josiane. You're running late. All right. So they did a research to show that marriages are really categorized into distinct types. And each type is likely to experience some measure of different levels of satisfaction or dissatisfaction, if you want to call that. Deep discontent, and some would have fulfillment, etc. But you're going to have, and even those that have fulfillment experience problems. So experiencing dissatisfaction in a marriage always is disconcerting and makes people feel as though, hey, listen, probably I should come out of this. And if you have never, ever thought of leaving your relationship, you are among the very few. Because almost every time you'll have in some form of relationship, the thought of, probably I made a mistake. Probably I should not have entered this. All right? But don't feel discouraged about that. Joanna Peters, St. Vincent, nice. Good evening to you. Rock and come in, Joanna. All right. So here are the 5 types, my people. And I hope that we usually have some people taking notes and record the 5 and post it for everybody. I hope those people are on this evening. All right. So rock and come in. Tell your friends, call your friends and tell them rock and come in. Mike at Night is on. We on and we boiling like corn. All right. Let's go. So, the 5 types that we're talking about. Let's talk about the first one. Devitalized couples. On the flyer, I put them down one time. Devitalized couples. Well, these are the couples that the most dissatisfied group of people. They're usually in a marriage or in a relationship of high discontent. The lowest marital satisfaction score. So if you're supposed to score them on marital satisfaction, very low. They said the people who are usually in this are usually younger. I'm not too sure I agree with that, because there are some very senior people, middle-aged people, and mature people who I figure are in dissatisfied and discontented relationship. But they say it's the younger people. The less educated, they say, I didn't really take that one either. And not just because they write that are going to take it. Because they are very highly educated people who are devitalized couples. Okay? They grapple with enduring dissatisfaction. In other words, their entire relationship is dissatisfaction. From the word go, some of them just during the wedding or just before the wedding, the engagement, just after the wedding, from then till 5, 10, 15 years later, they will tell you this marriage was never working in the first place. So these are the people who usually contemplate in divorce. This is not working for me, I don't want it. And in the majority of cases, divorce is the option that they take. This is the kind of couple that would get married, dissatisfied from the word go, divorce, just enter a new one, and dissatisfied again. So ask yourself, this cycle, spin dry, washing machine mentality, is it the other person or is it me? So some people have married 3, 4, 5 times. Oh heavens, you ain't gonna start checking yourself and say, no man, I can't be so bad. Lucky the love ratio cannot say that of the billions of people, I keep choosing somebody who is messed up. Am I not broken in some way to have married 5 times, 4 times, and all those marriages fail? I don't know. I just asking all them. Edwin Tulsi, Glenda Allen, Joy, Gushad, nice having you. McKinney, John, or McKinney, sorry. John, nice. Rock and come in, all rock and come in, a little late, or let us keep me back. Don't like that. Candice Alexander, shame on you. Coming into class this hour of the night. All right. So, the devitalized couples, they are usually dissatisfied and they seek divorce as almost, from the time they frustrated, bam. You see me? I can't take this headache. I done. And this is usually, they usually end up in short marriages, short relationships. They sometimes, have you ever met somebody? There are so many people that you meet that I am not afraid to ask, how's your boyfriend? How's your girlfriend? How's your husband? How's your wife? Because there are so many times people say, well, me and he done, me and she, we're not together again. But it's just 4 months ago, you introduced me to this person. Yeah, but we done. That wasn't working. Here, good. That girl, she already here. Then when you meet the person next time, then a new relationship, they introduce you. Bam. Meet them 6 months later. I'm afraid to ask. And then they will tell you, you know the girl that they introduced you to? You know, me and them, we are together again. Yeah, that girl, she need help, boy. Have you not heard that over and over again? The devitalized couple. None of them seeking help because all of them think they are quite good and the other person is messed up. Wow. But what we gonna do? Short relationships, and they say that there is a higher likelihood of religious or religiosity. Now, that kind of threw me for a loop. This religious concept that they said that these people tend to have threw me for a loop. And I wonder also if in relationships that we are saying that when people are in religion, their relationship seem to go through some sort of issues in the relationship. So what they actually saying is this short-term relationship usually happens when people in different religions. Follow me? We usually say it doesn't matter which religion you go to. She could go to one, I could go to the next. But they are saying that when they start off in different religions. And this is that's research from psychologists. This is no church saying this here now. Follow me? This is not my church, your church, somebody else is saying this. This is the research from the psychologists saying that whenever there is a relationship that is devitalized, many times they either have religious differences. One is this part of religion, another one, or from different sociological backgrounds, different types of perceiving the world through some very critical eyes. It is different. So it is going to head to divorce and separation. They say that is where it is most frequent. So the religious people will know that they would quote the scripture that says, be not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. I guess that is going to give some credence to a number of people now. Because, and in my own journey as a licensed marriage officer, I have seen people attempt to get together with different religious background. One might be a Sabbath keeper, the other one is not. One might be a charismatic religion, the other one is not. And they say, well, you know, it shouldn't. I've even seen people between the Hindu and the Christian try to marry. And if you ask me, there is some credence, there is some validity in what this research is showing. Because many times soon after, those religions come under fire. If you are a Sabbath keeper and then you are expected to keep the Sabbath, there are going to be some needs your spouse would have that would require your attention on the Sabbath. There are some issues, there are some family entertainment, some family events that they will want you to come and they are not keeping the Sabbath, but you are. Are you all following me? All they want to answer me tonight, and I find all quiet tonight. All they're saying is good night, good night. Kenneth Hodge, what can come in, my boy? Blessed evening to you. Rachel John Rajaram, good evening to you. Yes, we're going to push the pencil tonight. 5 types of couples that we have in relationships. That is what we're talking about. Yes? So we just dealt with the devitalized couples. Those couples that last short time. They said it, the younger ones. I disagreed with that. I'm allowed to disagree with some of the things that are written. But I agree with the part when they said that when it happens many times when people come from religious differences, and there are some fundamental cultural and sociological differences. It is so stark that it is difficult for somebody to be able to mesh and be in a relationship with those two differences, right? And they say it usually ends in divorce. Kasi Shangi, rock and come in, my girl. Rock and come in. Charmin. Charmin said, go ahead, bro. Go ahead. I'm going ahead. Number 2, conflicted couples. These conflicted couples is the second type that I want to talk about. They have communication challenge. They often share certain rules and so on, and religion and so on. So they are conflicted. They are similar to the devitalized couples. They say that these people also have less education. I don't know why the education things keep coming up. They are the lower income people, more religious in their differences, etc. So they fall out on those issues. And also they also contemplate divorce. And grappling with this, that is dissatisfaction, they stand firm on the dissatisfied strong points, right? They stand firm. This is how I think and I'm not changing. The next person says, this is what I believe and I'm not changing. This is how I am, I'm not going to give in. So they're not diverging significantly in separation rates from when they sample these people. This and the devitalized couples are quite similar. These are conflicted couples that seem to have issues in getting along with each other and in communication particularly. Yes, Diane, my dear sister. Good evening to you. You're late, Diane. Rock and Comine, Beatrice and Paul, good night to you. All right. So number 3, traditional couples. So we dealt with devitalized couples, conflicted couples. The conflicted couples, they have communication challenges. I want you to know that probably is one of the main things that they have, communication challenges. Number 3, traditional couples. The traditional couples, they are satisfied with traditional way of operating. They find their kind of fulfillment in a traditional parenting style, and religious, more or less, be in the same kind of religious thinking. So me and you go to the same church, we want to bring up our children in the same way, and we traditionally we believe in the same values, etc. So you have the traditional couples. They say this group of people who are traditional. Are we having internet problems, Myrtle? Yes, Myrtle, you are late. That's why you're having internet problems. All right, but I hope you settle down now. All right, traditional couples. These traditional couples, they said their marriage usually lasts longer. These people are usually more educated. Again, I'm not too sure I want to agree with that, because there are some people who are not very educated and have some very long-lasting marriages. And they are traditional. They have the higher learning. They favor traditional roles. Traditional roles meaning the man is the head of the house, the wife is in submission, the children should obey the parents, the man provides, the woman nurtures the children, even though she works, and the children learn to be able to speak to the parents in a certain way, even if they have the freedom of speech. They don't call me by my first name, call me daddy or mommy. They are traditional. Not modern, where these children calling people their father for their first name. My child calling me, Michael, bring me something, bring me my book inside of the room there, please. No, the traditional people not for that. So they say these here are less frequently separated. They tend to separate or break down the relationship or divorce fewer times. And they less often consider divorce as an option. Doesn't mean they don't think about it, but they do not consider divorce as often as an option. Okay? So they seek stability, contentment, and commitment to the institution of marriage. So that first marriage, that is what the science says. This is what the psychologists say. That the traditional people, their marriages last longer than some of the modern day ones. This is one of them. All right. So you all will tell me if you agree, because I know. Jerome John. Nice. Jerome said he heard me. I'm glad for that. Charmaine, what is it you disagree with? You can't just say you disagree, because remember now, you on a delay. I don't know what part of the discussion you don't agree with. Myrtle says she's not hearing. Myrtle, Jerome said he's hearing. So I think, Myrtle, that might be a problem on your end. All right. Jerome says he agrees with the traditional. All right. So Charmaine says she disagrees with the traditional couples lasting longer. I would love to hear your point, Charmaine. We want people to feel free to disagree. Just as how I disagreed with the people who made the statement, I want people to disagree also with what is being said. Kenneth Hodge, is it then as deception in thinking the different dynamics will not be successful? I'm not too sure that the only option is the traditional one, but from what they're saying, it is so far. We're going to read two more of them. Is the one that seemed to last out of all three that we've mentioned so far. If you want to call, you can call 868-688-5363. Let's take your call and prosecute your case directly online, or just send me a WhatsApp. If you send me a WhatsApp on that number, I'll read also what you wish to share, or just post it on the Facebook chat. All right, let me just scroll a bit, see what's going down. All right. I'm sure this one is not for. All right. So let me just tell the person who's online that I'm live on radio now, so I'll call them back. Okay? All right. So I'm sure that person is not necessarily trying to get on. I don't think. I think they might have been trying to return a call. All right. Jerome said parents married since 1968 and still together. All right. So there are people who are married for 50, 55 years. That their marriage hold. Did they have a good ride for the entire 55 years? No. But you are seeing people who are married. Some of them married, and the marriage has not been registered yet, and they are already broken up. There's a gentleman that I met, he was married for 1 day. 1 day, he said. What kind of thing is that? You understand me? But when I speak with them, these are not the traditional marriage people. These are the people who go outside of the tradition and have all kind of concepts of how marriage is supposed to be. As I told some of you before, I met a lady. She's married 4 times. 4 times she's married. And she said she came to herself and recognized she's the only consistent person in all 4 relationships. So she took her eyes off of the men she was marrying, because she said she used to blame that these are the guys who somehow or the other don't have it together. And she blamed them. When she ceased from that and looked inwardly, she said, the fact that I could be in 4 marriages and none of those guys were more than once in it, but I was in every one of them. She said she took herself and looked inwardly. I met her in Florida. She said she's now married. The 4th marriage is to the first guy she married that she walked out on. And she says, with her changed version of how she looks at her marriage, her relationship, and herself, she said, this marriage has her the happiest and is lasting with such stability. She wondered, what is it? Why she never understood some of the things. And what happened is she has gone back to traditional, actually, with what she said. Some of the things that she went modern, she gave up and went back. And she said she's as happy as a lark. I just telling her, for people like my friend Charmaine. Charmaine said her parents were married for 67 years. Her father died at 89 years. Wow. My mother is 97 years. They were quite contented and committed to each other. Most likely, Charmaine, that was a traditional marriage. Myrtle McKnight says some of them were trying a thing. They don't know the seriousness of marriage. Of course, and they just tell themselves they're going in, and if it don't work, they come out. That's the modern marriage. And then when you ask me to sign a prenuptial agreement, and we going in expecting that we coming back out? And we going in saying that if I ask you to sign a prenup, and am I not going in saying that what is mine is mine? Isn't that setting a stage? And I wonder if the research could tell us how many people with prenuptial agreements have lived years of happiness and contentment. So when you read many of these entertainers and politicians and so on who went in with it and see them revising their prenup agreements and so on, you wonder. Eden Thomas said, good evening, Michael. I missed the first two type because of coming in late. Toko in the house. Hey, Toko, good to have you. Nice. Eden, well, yeah, you mustn't come in late, Eden. Don't come in late. That is why we tell you rock and come in. But I'm going to spare you today. I will tell you the first two. Oh, Charmaine did not agree with the first part of the education part. Okay. I get what you're saying, Charmaine. Thanks. Marva Celestine, good evening to you. All right. So, Eden, devitalize couples is the first one. The list is on the flyer, if you saw the flyer. Devitalize couples. These are the couples that are dissatisfied groups. These are the groups that usually concentrate on divorce a lot. These are the people who also have differences in religion, and they just tend not to get along with each other. And then you have the conflicted couples. The conflicted couples usually have very short-term marriages. Those marriages end quickly and they start another one, and that also ends. Also, you have the differences in background, in culture and sociological things. That I'm not saying that you cannot marry somebody with different backgrounds, educational background and cultural background, no ethnic background. But you must know it will create additional issues. That is the point I want you to understand. You cannot just go inside of there and not expect that it would not have its impact. You see. So, conflicted couples, and then we just dealt with the traditional couples. Those traditional couples are those who, of the people like Charmaine parents that you would have heard of, marrying for 67 years. That is now a rarity. That is now something that we do not see or experience in marriages. Marriages lasting 1 day, 3 months, 6 months, 3 years, 5 years, not even getting to 7 years in many cases, and it's getting shorter and shorter. And as I said with you all, there's statistics that I read that was from 2012, where America has 144 million adult singles, because the relationship not even reaching marriage now. 144 million adult singles. Think of what that means as far as family life, continuity of generations, stability of children in their schools, etc. Let me tell you, that has so much. Not every educated person who are married couple lasts long, because to me it's a competition. Just saying. All right. Yes, and I agree with Charmaine. That's why I don't agree with this education thing. We tell this thing, uneducated people are the ones doing crime. Uneducated people are the ones who are poor. Uneducated people are the ones who are this. But some of the richest people did not have no secondary degree, secondary schooling, nor university degree. Some of the millionaires, they had upstairs, they had common sense. So I don't carry with this education thing. I think we overrate education. It is good. And there are many poor people who live on it, and many rich people who are very dishonest and scampish. So I'm not going to go down that road with that. All right, Shami said she read the article in Singleness in America. All right, so you see, I ain't lying. Mercina said prenup is a contract to protect your finances, vulnerabilities or vulnerabilities. I'm not too sure. I think it's vulnerabilities, she's saying, beyond marriage and death. Right. So, but as a lawyer said, a will can protect those things beyond marriage and death. Well, beyond death. You see? So, to do a prenup is to cater for beyond marriage. A will caters for beyond death. So once I go with a prenup, I am catering for after marriage. So I'm already predicating that this relationship is going to likely end. All right. All right. Eden say he's in traditional. Eden, when I in Toko, I must look you up. All right. Nice people. All right. So let's go to number 4. Number 4, we just came out of the traditional couples. Harmonious couples. The harmonious couples, these couples, they say, score moderately in marital and relationship interaction. But they are diverged in their consensus on parenting issues. So as far as the marital interaction, they have a good, stable marriage system going. However, the parenting issues they seem to grapple with. The old, and they said most likely the older people, earlier in the marriage, when it comes to fewer children, and they said these people have higher education and job statuses, despite the differences in the income between the men and the women. The man sometimes would have low income, the woman has a higher income, with 94% overall satisfaction, they said. I'm not too sure I swallow that. Let me tell you why. This is the harmonious couple that get along in their marital interaction, but disagree on parental issues. They have divergent views on parental issues. And you are telling me they have a higher education level, higher job status than the traditional and the others. They have a 94% of satisfaction. That shows balance. And the fundamental of a family, you all disagree on parenting? Nah. I am not taking that. But they call it harmonious couples because we tend to consider a marriage and a relationship getting along if both of us getting along. But you cannot consider that if we are talking about parenting and we're not getting along as parents because we are producing a set of children that are coming out broken off of our concept of the marriage. Charmaine, I agree. That is what I call a pure oxymoron. That is conflict on that. But you see, and this is the modern type of thing that says this traditional thing of considering children as crucial, their safety and their happiness being important. That tradition is not for the modern family. Just today, I am listening to a plea from the social services people asking people in Trinidad and Tobago, as we approach Carnival, please take care of your children. Make sure that they are safe and they are protected. If you are going to go out and enjoy Carnival, make sure you make proper arrangement for the security of your children. Why? They said, they went on to say, as I'm listening to the news, one gentleman said they usually have 2,000 reports of neglect of children per month. Let that marinate a bit. 2,000 per month. In 10 months, how many issues of neglect do we have? Yeah. And they said it because parents are leaving children to mind children while they go carnival. Carnival, for those of you who are outside of Trinidad and Tobago, is in February in this country. So they leave the children in the hands of children. They leave the children with persons who they do not have full confidence to secure the interests of the children. The traditional parent of my mother's days, she is not going no carnival and leave her children in nobody's hand. But no, we are made to enjoy ourselves. We can't stick up in the house, so we're going to go and we're going to enjoy ourselves in carnival. While children, there are so many incidents of children who have died over the last couple of years, not only in Trinidad and Tobago, in many other islands, because of parents who have neglected their children. But they think because their relationship as husband and wife, father and mother, getting along well, this is success. No, it cannot be. I will have none of that. Kenneth says, should those of the household of faith go the route of having a prenup? I don't suggest it, Hodge. I do not suggest that at all. That says that this concept of we are one in all things. What is mine is my wife's. What is my wife's is mine. Because they two shall become one. Who am I making a prenup to protect the things that I own when my wife is supposed to be the first call on it? Who am I leaving it for? My mother? Or some other woman? No, sir. So that's my clear answer to you, Kenneth. We could debate on it after if you want. All right. All right, people. Nicely. Thank you all. So we going on to the fifth one. We're making nice time tonight, man. Nice time. Charmaine said it is going against the teaching of God. I believe so, unequivocally. Don't come with no prenup with me and tell me that this is thing. That is the modern day thing that is creating issues. I was listening to the news, and if I'm not mistaken, the former president of the United States, wife has a prenup. Now that he's going through a number of issues of court matters, I understand that she has called for a revision of it. That's what I understand. If that is so, the question is, why are we revising it? I think sometimes we become very materialistic with when we're dealing with relationships, that it is all about money and possession. Number 5, vitalized couples. The vitalized couples. The vitalized couples. Remember the first one was devitalized couples. So now we have the vitalized couples. This is the ultimate, the marital satisfaction couple. They said these couples have the highest scores across all of the tests that they have done. Conflict resolution, they're good at that. They are older, more educated, there we go again. Economically stable, there we go again with money. I've known of people who don't have money at all and they're happy. Anyway, but go ahead. They exude marital bliss. strong communication skills. I got to take that about communication skills and all of that. They said 86% of these couples never once consider divorce. So, because they report satisfaction, none of them facing agony of separation, and their story focuses on love, effective communication, and triumph over issues of a flourishing marital bond. Let me go that again. The highest marital satisfaction comes from the vitalized couples, where they have love, good communication skills, and they have a good marital bond. Stable. Yeah? I ain't see money come up here. I ain't see well, yeah, well, they talk about that they earlier they spoke about they are older and but they economically stable. I'm going to take the economically stable thing because this one did not focus so much on making the money and that kind of thing. But strong communication skills is what this one came up with. So, what do you all think, my people? I hope that that gives you some form of, I was also looking at another one. I wonder if this one, I will see that we have some time. I will give you all a few more. The validating couple. The validating couple. So let's call this number 6. You see, so I'll give all the vitalized couple. Edwin Tulsi says. So do you all want me, for those of you who late, who did not come in early, 5 types of marriages or relationship, devitalized, conflicted couples, traditional couples, harmonious couples, and vitalized couples. Those are the things. All right, so Hart says in some church circles, in the modern era, it is no consideration so to do. Well, every bread has its cheese. I'm not going there, my boy. I don't want nobody coming with no prenup. Anytime you come to me with a prenup, I know for sure that marriage is not going to happen. At all. So, in this type of marriage, I'm not going on to the validating couples. So, this type of couples, they are usually calm in the way they interact with each other. Unlike the couples that you always have quarrel and hostility and so on. These couples fall out with each other, but they don't cuss, carry on, and drama. They interact in calm manners. They will talk their issues out. They are relaxed while they interact with each other, even during the problems and the fights that they're having. Can somebody fight calmly? Yes. They don't jump to conclusion, this research said. They listen to their partners first. They listen to what the partner is saying to understand what is causing the issue. They don't jump to conclusion. They find out what's bothering you. Did I hurt you? That's what they do. The other rah-rah situation is where, what's wrong with you? And they accuse the other person of things. They're always pointing fingers, but not this one that is called the validating couple. So Even when they are fighting, they are calm. They don't jump to conclusion and they listen a lot. And when there's a big issue, they sit down and discuss it. They are composed and they face things even when there are big issues. So it also said if they get into a fight, they quickly recognize what they are doing and calm each other down. I realize they're getting upset. Come, sit down and let's talk it out. Yeah? Charmaine says she never heard her parents argue. Yeah? That is such a nice thing to live in. So, Charmaine, you could understand if people come from a like what we just called out here, the validated couples, and you said you came from a home where you didn't hear argument. Could you imagine somebody coming from a validating home where they saw their parents calmly operating even when they disagree? So they grew up in that. And now you are married to somebody who's a rara. Anyway, let's go on to the next one. We have time for another one. The volatile couple. These are the people, they are so emotional. Any little thing that get them vexed. They're very sensitive. They wear their feelings on their shoulders, on their sleeves. They can't handle tough conversations in a relationship. Anytime you get tough with it, they fall apart. They say harsh things to each other. Volatile. So for them to stay together, these volatile people, they stay connected in a way that the fights don't affect the bond between them. So they ignore some of the things that bother them. But all that happens is that the issues pile up. And then one day somebody says something or does something and bam, all hell breaks loose. Right? So those are the volatile couples. All right, we still have a little time. Let's talk about the conflict avoiders. The conflict avoiders are the people who they don't talk nothing that make them feel stressed out. They leave those issues out of it. They dismiss any issue that comes up between them. They pretend as though it doesn't exist. If they have a disagreement, they focus on something that is positive, ignore the things that are negative. They have boundaries in order to reduce fighting. And before talking only about things that they agree on rather than fighting about the things that disagree on. Now, the thing about the conflict couples, which apparently the writer is supporting conflict couples. I'm not too sure this walking around and skipping over conflict issues works out well in the long run. In the short term, I agree, but not in the long term. And the conflict couples are different from the hostile couples. The hostile couples are very defensive in their disagreement. They're always defending, no matter how bad the situation is or how much they are being caught, how much evidence it is in the relationship that you are wrong, they will defend it. These couples defend, and both of them in the same boat. They defend, they defend, defend. They criticize each other a lot. They even blame each other. Can you all think of any couple you know about? They argue and they fight a lot. They don't try to understand the other person's point of view. And instead, they try to defend their position, which can also endanger the relationship. All right, we still have 4 minutes. We're going. The hostile couple. The hostile, detached couple. So now you have the conflict couple, you have the hostile couple, you have the volatile couple, and you have the validating couple. But the hostile couple, this is the hostile detached couples, which is separate from the hostile couple that always argue. This is the hostile detached couple. In that day, you're now coming from Bible class, we're going to give you a blind because, all right, you have a good reason. But some of them don't have no good reason for coming in at this hour in my class. So, all right, so take a blind. Welcome. All right, the hostile detached couple. In this type of couple, these couples that are in this relationship, they constantly fight in the most negative way. By that we mean they are going to use some hurtful words. They are going to say things just to hurt the other person for the person to be able to realize how much they're hurting. So they hurt you bad because of it. Right? They do not look for solutions. They are looking to trump up and prove how bad the next person is. You know of couples like that? So they ain't ready to solve, they're not ready to compromise. They ruin the marriage in the worst case or way possible. Often end in divorce, fights, and sometimes suicide or death. This is the hostile, detached couples. It is built on fight. It's as though that is all that they know. Joan Pierre. All right. So this is the second person I'm giving an excuse. In that, just come from Bible class, and Joan Pierre says she is in work. So, and she's a nurse, so we know the importance of that. So, welcome, Joan. I hope that we have Tobago Joe on board. In the meanwhile, he's supposed to be home, logged in. All right. So, people, we're down to the end now. I think we covered quite a bit. I think we got most of them. All right. So I hope that people were able to find their relationship in all of this. And if you don't, the telephone number that you see on the screen, if you need help, you need private counseling, you can always call me. And let's talk. And let's get relationships going right. There's no one way to get it successful, but of course, there is not a reason for us to keep in a hurtful, dysfunctional, unstable relationship when we have chances of getting good help to turn things around. Edwin Tulsi, thank you very much. And all of you out there, thank you very much for joining us. This is Mike at Night. We're on every Thursday. And we invite you to come back with us next week, Thursday, same time, for more on this great station, on this my Facebook. Whitfield Turner, you're now coming. Is it me or was Mike and I going back to the phantom? Yes, he said you're hearing me but not seeing me. No man. You have taken off your video camera, Whitfield. Obviously, you're not seeing me. All right. Thank you very much, people. God bless you all. See you all again. Bye.